Turns out we did get to see an iceberg in the southerly capital of Nuuk. Welcome back to my channel. In this episode, we are on day 2 of our 3-day trip in Nuuk, Greenland, exploring this capital city while trying to stay warm in the summer months. We have a big day ahead with visiting museums and a whale watching tour, so we better load up on the hotel breakfast. Nuuk Day 2 OOTD. Again, I have my merino wool beanie, pashmina scarf, my lightweight packable down jacket. This time I have my merino wool half zip, again, prana hiking pants, and my Nike running shoes. And that's the outfit. We're going to do another museum, and then we're going to do some whale watching later this evening. Here we go again. We don't need any house cleaning services today, so saving a piece of Greenland. Nuuk is a walkable city. Here we go through the city center. Here's a view of the old colonial harbor, which we had to pass by to get to the first of our 2 museums of the day. Oh, how charming. It's a Coopersmith display as part of the Greenland National Museum and Archives. If you watched my previous vlog on Den Gammelby in Aarhus, Denmark, you can appreciate how the Danes like to preserve old buildings. It's important to note what days the museums are closed, so this one is closed on Mondays, just like how the art museum is closed. We're here on Sunday, so that's why it's open. Good thing for the self-coat check, because I wouldn't want to wander inside with all of our outdoor gear. You got that just in case you get tired?
I preserve my energy.
The Greenland National Museum and Archives is a cornerstone of Greenlandic history and culture, offering a fascinating journey through the island's past. Its extensive collection spans over 4,000 years, showcasing artifacts from Greenland's ancient Inuit cultures, Norse settlements, and colonial era. The museum's most famous exhibit is the Sermitsiaq mummies, naturally preserved remains from the 15th century that provide a poignant glimpse into life and death in the Arctic. The archives hold invaluable historical records, including rare photographs, maps, and manuscripts that chronicle Greenland's evolution. This museum is a must-see for anyone seeking to understand Greenland's rich cultural identity and the stories of resilience and adaptation that shapes its people. What stood out to me were the kayaks, which I didn't know was a Greenlandic word. Kayaking is central to Greenlandic culture because that was the way to hunt for food in the Arctic waters. Nearby is the Nuuk Lokal Museum. The Nuuk Lokal Museum offers an intimate and heartfelt glimpse into the everyday lives and traditions of Nuuk's residents. This charming museum focuses on local culture, featuring a rich collection of objects that reflect the city's history and community spirit. Exhibits include traditional clothing, household items, fishing tools, and photographs that tell the stories of Nuuk's people across generations. The museum also highlights the way modern life intertwines with Greenlandic traditions, providing a deeper appreciation for the city's unique identity. It's a cozy, off-the-beaten-path destination for anyone curious about the personal and cultural fabric of Nuuk. You can see how, as time has gone by, Nuuk's population expanded and there is more development. I remember the floppy disks because I had a Commodore 64 and that's how you played games. I definitely remember these 3.5 hard disks here. I did use them for college. And now the present day. This is what we're familiar with. Who knows what it's going to look like in the next decade as they are building more apartment complexes while we were there. All the different soft drinks, and they have my favorite. Oh, I've been wondering what these colors meant for each of the houses. I thought they were all random or based on your preference, but there's a code. Blue is for electricity and water services, green's for police and telecommunications, yellow. There was a break area that felt hygge with the shag throws and plenty of natural lighting. It made me feel warm and cozy on this cold summer afternoon.
There's also a virtual reality exhibit.
The virtual reality exhibit was my favorite part of the museum. Through the goggles, you can watch a short clip of the history of Nuuk, go on a kayak tour without getting wet, and learn the significance of the drum dance. How convenient that after we left the Lokal museum, we were near the entrance of the Boardwalk that our hotel reception desk had recommended for us to check out. Walking the Nuuk Boardwalk is a serene experience that immerses you in the beauty of Greenland's capital. The boardwalk winds along the waterfront, offering stunning views of the harbor, the glistening fjord, and the rugged mountains beyond. As you stroll, you'll pass colorful houses, bobbing fishing boats, and perhaps a glimpse of local wildlife. It's an ideal spot for a leisurely walk, where you can pause to take in the tranquil Arctic scenery and reflect on the harmony between Nuuk's vibrant community and its pristine natural surroundings.
In terms of boardwalk, that was a long boardwalk. We're eating either a late lunch or a super early dinner. It's only 3:30, but we got that whale watching at 6.
Better to grab something to eat now so the food would settle in our stomachs before going onto the boat. We got a shrimp and barbecue chicken bowl along with some cafe mochas to warm us up.
Here we go with another visit to a grocery store.
Unlike Spar, this seemed more of a local grocery store than an international chain. Still, you can find plenty of familiar items.
And this bag of Sour Patch Kids, it's like $2.50.
Just like in Iceland, you can find an Asian food aisle in the Nordic. Some frozen game meats. Sprite is expensive at nearly $7 for a 2-liter bottle.
Ah, that's more like it. Fax Condi for about $2.10, $2.20. Perfect to break my 100 crowns so we can get change for the bus.
Like in the Nuuk Day 1 vlog, we needed to break our larger bills to exact change for the bus tomorrow. At least it gave us an excuse to visit the grocery store to see what kind of goods are sold here.
Oh, no way. I recognize that. It's a tartletter.
If you remember from my Denmark vlogs, I had some tartletars and they were becoming familiar to me just like these chips.
One thing that is missing is I don't see a produce section. But then again, what can you really grow here in Greenland?
I got my new favorite drink, a Fax Condi, to break the large bill.
On to our evening adventure. It's about 5:30 and we're gonna walk to the cruise ship terminal where they're gonna pick us up because we're gonna go whale watching. To me, it seems a little strange that we're starting the whale watching tour at 6 p.m. because I'm used to seeing these tours take off early in the morning, like around 10. But it's summertime in Greenland. The sun stays out until past 11, so maybe that's why, or maybe it's because the whales are more active in the evening. I'm not really sure, but I'm looking forward to it. Mind you, I've gone whale watching before. The first time I went whale watching was in Boston over 15 years ago, and I puked out my guts. So the fact that we decided to go whale watching, also because we couldn't get onto the fjord tours because we booked this too late. Yeah, so we're lucky to have tickets to anything, so whale watching it is. I figure you can't get to Greenland without being on the water.
The port in Nuuk is a vital hub for Greenland, serving as the gateway for goods, services, and transportation that connect the capital to the rest of the world. The port is also a focal point for local life, where fishing boats, cargo ships, and water taxis come and go against the stunning backdrops of the fjords and mountains.
That's a Canadian ship. See, there's the maple flag, or maple leaf. I think this is it. According to Google Maps, this is where we're supposed to meet for the whale safari. But we're super early. We're still about half an hour early.
For visitors, the port is often the starting point for incredible adventures like whale watching, fjord cruises, and exploring nearby islands. The Nuuk Water Taxi is more than just a mode of transportation. It's an essential part of exploring Greenland's incredible fjords and coastline. These bright yellow boats, operated by skilled local captains, offer a unique way to access remote areas around Nuuk that are otherwise unreachable.
Getting on the boat, and I did take some meclizine. Good thing they have an indoor cabin. Doesn't hold that many people, but they have one just in case you do get chilly. Pro tip, make sure to book your excursions early because they fill up quickly. Originally, I had wanted to go on a short fjord cruise, which there were spots still open about a month before we left. However, once we arrived in Nuuk, it was all booked up, which is how we ended up on this 3-hour whale safari. I can never get sick of seeing the colorful homes of old colonial harbor. The city quickly shrank into the distance, and we were surrounded by the vastness of Greenland's pristine waters. There was a second water taxi that was doing the tour with us because our group was large. Our boat had 7 people on it. It turns out later that the boats would work in tandem for the whale sighting. Talk about a buddy system. Hey, that's not a whale, but it's just as cool. Our first surprise was spotting a small iceberg drifting through the fjord. It was like a frozen sculpture, glowing in shades of white and blue under the Arctic sun. Common to you, but...
It's common for you, interesting for us.
I've never seen an iceberg up close like this before. Not even when we went to Alaska, we didn't see one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, this is even better than seeing a whale. It may not be as spectacular as the ones you see up in Illiset, but I was not expected to see an iceberg at all during our trip to Nuuk. Gonna touch it. Oh my gosh, this is so cold. This may look like a small iceberg, but remember that 90% of it is underwater. No, I'm not dry suit certified to go diving in the freezing Arctic waters to find out. If we don't see a whale on this trip, I already was satisfied from seeing an iceberg up close. And the search for a whale sighting continued. Off to the distance, we saw another iceberg. Obviously, that is not a whale. Sermitsiaq Island is one of Nuuk's most iconic landmarks, with its dramatic peaks often visible from the city. The island is named after its towering mountain, Sermitsiaq, whose jagged profile rises sharply against the Arctic sky. Known for its breathtaking natural beauty, the island is home to a stunning waterfall, rugged cliffs, and pristine Arctic landscapes. One of the highlights of Visit Sermitsiaq is the chance to see its famous waterfall, which cascades down the mountainside in a powerful display of nature's force. The island is a favorite spot for hikers and adventurers, offering trails that reward visitors with incredible views of fjords and Nuuk in the distance. Whether glimpsed from a boat or explored on foot, Sermitsiaq Island is a must-see destination that captures the raw beauty of Greenland's wilderness. So far, I'm having a great time having seen an iceberg and waterfall. We haven't even gotten to the main event. Then came the highlight, our first glimpse of a whale. We were lucky to spot one fairly quickly, and our captain expertly navigated to give us the best views while keeping a respectful distance. Turns out he was working in conjunction with the other water taxi to share information. It starts off with a shot of mist from its spout. Watching the whale's massive tail rise and disappear into the water was magical. For a while, we followed its movements, marveling at its grace and sheer size as it surfaced again and again. Just in case you were wondering where we were sailing around to look at this whale, yeah, we were all over the place. Then came the best whale sighting I've ever experienced. Our patience had paid off.
Rainbow.
There's a rainbow! As we headed back towards Nuuk, nature had one more treat for us, a rainbow stretching across the sky. Framed by the fjord's dramatic landscape and the colorfulness of Nuuk in the distance, it was the perfect way to end an unforgettable day on the water. We had gotten acclimated to the cold, so we sat outside for the remainder of the trip and let the other members in our group sit inside the heated cabin. Straight up ahead was the port, which means our whale safari was coming to an end. Another glimpse of the Canadian ship. A cruise ship, which is another way to see Nuuk and travel around Greenland. Heading back into the harbor, the colorful houses of Nuuk came into view, framed by the rugged mountains. It was a kind of experience that lingers in your heart, reminding you of the profound beauty and connection found in Greenland's wild landscapes. Whale watching wasn't just a tour, it was a memory we'll carry with us, forever tied to the magic of this Arctic paradise.
Hot chocolate is perfect to warm us up after being on that whale safari. And it's 10 o'clock. The sun is still out. We haven't had sunset yet, but we're about to have sunset.
As the day drew to a close, we found ourselves back in our cozy hotel room, unwinding after an unforgettable day of exploring Nuuk and its breathtaking surroundings. From the window, the Arctic sky put on a show unlike any we've ever seen. If you want to see how we spent our last day in Nuuk, don't forget to like and subscribe.